Well, hello and welcome to another Flesh and Blood Ultimate Pit Fight. And this time we're doing a Part the Mistveil episode. Yeah, I know, a bit late to the party, but better late than never. And it's time to see which of the new heroes will take the win in an all-out brawl. So we have Stanislav on Zen, Stanislav on Enigma, and I will be playing Nu. And let's not make you wait any longer and get right into the game. And it looks like Enigma has the first move. He plays a red Spectral Manifestation, paying 2 resources to create a Spectral Shield token with 3+1 counters on it. Because of his weapon's ability, all of his auras with ward can attack by paying 1 resource, but because of Enigma's ability, the first Spectral Shield attack costs 1 resource less, making it free. So he attacks Zen with 4 attack power. Stanislav blocks the attack, and at instant speed, Stanislav plays the red Waxing Spectre, pitching another card to play the 2 resources he needs, leaving him with 2 floating. And since he pitched a blue card this turn, Waxing Spectre enters the arena with +1 counter on it. Then he breaks the combat chain and attacks me with it with 4 attack power. I block for 3 and take 1 damage, at least that's what I thought, but then the other Stanislav plays 2 instant cards, the Grain that tips the scale and Path Well Traveled, giving Waxing Spectre +1 attack power and go again, so I take 2 damage. And Stanislav gets to transcend both of his cards, getting 2 inner cheese. But Stanislav has no other place, so he ends his turn, passing it over to me. I pitch a blue card and pay 2 resources to attack Enigma with my Beckoning Mistblade, leaving me with 1 resource floating. Stanislav plays the instant aura, the yellow Waning Vengeance, pitching a blue card and paying 1 resource, and because he pitched a blue card, when Waning Vengeance leaves the field, he can create a Spectral Shield token. And he also plays Phantom Tidemaw, which gets a +1 counter whenever an illusionist card he controls is destroyed. He prevents 1 damage from Beckoning Mistblade with Waning Vengeance, destroying it, so Phantom Tidemaw gets +1 counter on it. And he also gets to create a Spectral Shield token. Next I attack him with the red Art of Desire body with 3 attack power, which when it hits a hero, banishes the top card of their deck, and if it's a red card, I draw a card and gain a life. Stanislav wants to keep his auras, so he blocks with a card from his hand. But in the reaction step, I pay 1 resource and play the red Venomous Bite, giving +3 attack power to my card. Stanislav prevents the 3 damage by destroying Waxing Spectre, which has ward 3, and Phantom Tidemaw gets another +1 counter on it. And because of Venomous Bite, because I pitched a blue card this turn, I create a Fang Strike in my hand and play it as well to give another +1 attack power to my attack. Stanislav prevents that damage by destroying a Spectral Shield, and Phantom Tidemaw gets another +1 counter. I end my attack, put a card in my arsenal and end my turn, passing it over to Stanislav. Stanislav begins by using Zen's effect, pitching an Inner Chi to create a Crouching Tiger in his hand, and searches a card with combo in his deck, which he banishes and can play this turn. And he banishes Mauling Key. Next he plays Head Leads the Tail, pitching the other Inner Chi and paying 1 resource. He attacks me with 3 attack power, and all the Crouching Tigers in this combat chain will gain +1 attack power. I don't block and take the 3 damage. Next he attacks Stanislav with Crouching Tiger with 1 attack power. And just to clarify, we are playing with our house rule, which says when a ninja attacks a different player, it doesn't break the combat chain, because we thought it would be more fair and balanced this way. And Stanislav prevents that 1 damage by destroying Phantom Tidemaw. Next I get attacked with Breed Anger with 4 attack power. And since the last attack this combat chain was Crouching Tiger, Breed Anger gets go again, and it creates a Crouching Tiger in the banish zone which can be played this turn. I block 4 damage with a card from my hand and my hand equipment Arousing Wave. I then get attacked with the Crouching Tiger from the banish zone with 1 attack power and I take the 1 damage. And finally he attacks Stanislav with Mauling Key with 5 attack power, and since Crouching Tiger was the last card in the combat chain, it deals 1 damage to each opponent. Stanislav prevents the 1 damage by destroying a Spectral Shield token, but he has nothing to block the attack with, so he takes 5 damage. This ends Zen's attack and also Stanislav's turn, passing it over to Stanislav, who can't do anything, so he just draws 4 new cards and passes it over to me. I pitch a blue card and pay 2 resources to attack Zen with my Beckoning Mistblade, which Stanislav blocks with his leg equipment Stride of Reprisal. and it creates a Crouching Tiger in his hand. Next I attack him with another red Art of Desire body with 3 attack power. Stanislav blocks 2 damage with his chest and arm equipment, Blood Scent and Tearing Shuko. And in the reaction step I play Just a Nick, which allows my attack to banish the top card of my opponent's deck when it hits. Stanislav takes 1 damage and he banishes the top 2 cards of his deck, and since one of them is red, I draw a card and gain a life. I put a card into my arsenal and end my turn, passing it over to Stanislav. Stanislav plays the blue Wind Chakra, which gives his next Crouching Tiger this turn +1 attack power. And at instant speed he plays Homage to Ancestors, which gives him a life, and since he played a blue card this turn, it transcends. And now since he transcended, his next Crouching Tiger gets +3 attack power instead because of Wind Chakra. He pitches an Inner Chi to activate Zen's effect, creating a Crouching Tiger in his hand and banishing Ki Unleashed. He pitches a blue card and pays 2 resources to attack Enigma with his Tiger Taming Kakara, which gives his next Crouching Tiger another +1 attack power. Stanislav doesn't block and he takes 2 damage. He then attacks Enigma again with Tooth and Claw, and with its effect he reveals 2 Crouching Tigers in his hand, so it gains Go again and 1 attack power, making it 5 attack power. Stanislav doesn't block and takes 5 damage. Then he attacks me with a Crouching Tiger with 4 attack power. At instant speed I play Homage to Ancestors, giving me 1 life, and I pitch a card to pay a resource for another instant, Sacred Art Undercurrent Desire. And since I played a blue card this turn, I gain all of its effects. So I create a Fang Strike and Slither in my hand, I banish 2 cards from Enigma's graveyard, and I transcend. And Homage to Ancestors also transcends, so I gain 2 Inner Chis. And I don't block, so I take 4 damage. Finally Stanislav attacks me with Ki Unleashed, and since Crouching Tiger is the last card in the combat chain, it gains +4 attack power, so it hits with 7 attack power. I block 3 damage with my leg and head equipment, Undertow Stilettos, and Mask of Recurring Nightmares, and I take the 4 remaining damage. Stanislav puts a card in his arsenal and ends his turn, passing it over to Stanislav. He plays the blue Spectral Manifestation, pitching a blue card leaving him with 1 resource floating. It creates a Spectrum Shield token, and since he controls no other auras, it gains a +1 counter. Next for 1 resource he plays the red Waning Vengeance. He attacks Zen with his Spectrum Shield token for 2 attack power. Stanislav doesn't block and takes 2 damage. He also attacks him with Waning Vengeance with 3 attack power, which he also doesn't block and takes 3 damage. And Stanislav ends his turn and passes it over to me. I pitch a blue card and pay 2 resources to attack Zen with Beckoning Mistblade. He blocks the attack with his head equipment, Mask of Wizened Whiskers, which puts Ki Unleashed at the bottom of his deck. Next I pitch an Inner Chi to use Nu's effect and look at the top card of Zen's deck. It's a blue Breed Anger, so I banish it, and I can use blue cards from my opponent's banish zone without paying their cost. But since that card is kinda useless to me now, I pitch my other Inner Chi to look at another card on the top of Zen's deck. And would you look at that, it's another blue card, Harmony of the Hunt. So I play it and attack Zen with it with 1 attack power, and since I pitched a blue card this turn, it creates a Crouching Tiger in my hand. Stanislav doesn't block and takes 1 damage. Next I attack him with Crouching Tiger with 0 attack power. He doesn't block it, and in the reaction step, I play Fang Strike, giving +1 attack power to the Crouching Tiger, so Stanislav takes 1 damage. And now for maximum disrespect, I attack Zen again with Breed Anger from his banish zone, with 2 attack power. And since Crouching Tiger was the last attack in the combat chain, this gains Go again and it creates a Crouching Tiger in my banish zone, which I can play. Stanislav doesn't block and he takes 2 damage. But the disrespect is not over yet. I attack him with the Crouching Tiger in my banish zone with 0 attack power. Stanislav decides not to block, and in the reaction step, I pay 1 resource and destroy a Rousing Wave to create a Fang Strike in my hand, and I play to give Crouching Tiger +1 attack power, so Stanislav takes 1 damage. Finally I attack him with the blue Mind's Desire with 1 attack power. Stanislav doesn't block, but I forgot to count the damage on the life counter, so hopefully that 1 life won't make a difference. Anyway, it hits, so Stanislav banishes the top card of his deck. And it's a non-attack action card, so I gain 1 life. I put a card in my arsenal and end my turn passing it over to Stanislav. Stanislav starts his turn by playing Stir the Pot and Rising Sun Setting Moon. So he shuffles his deck, draws a card and puts a card from his hand at the bottom of his deck, and both cards transcend, giving him another 2 energies. He pitches one of them to use Zen's effect, again banishing Ki Unleashed from his deck. Next he plays the Red Tiger Form incantation, pitching another energy to pay 1 resource for it. So his next Crouching Tiger this turn gains +3 attack power, and since he pitched a blue card this turn, he creates a Crouching Tiger in his hand. He attacks Enigma with Tiger Taming Kakara with 2 attack power, giving his next Crouching Tiger another +1 attack power. And so that Stanislav doesn't have to waste his Ward 3 on just 2 attack power, I played the Grain that tips the scale, giving Tiger Taming Kakara +1 attack power, and Rising Sun Setting Moon, so I draw a card and put 1 card from my hand at the bottom of my deck, and then both of my cards transcend. Stanislav prevents the 3 damage with his Ward 3 Waning Vengeance by destroying it. Stanislav uses Tearing Shuko's instant ability, destroying it to give his next Crouching Tiger another +2 attack power. And he attacks Enigma with Crouching Tiger from his arsenal with 6 attack power. Stanislav prevents 1 damage with his Spectral Shield and he takes 5 damage. He also attacks him with another Crouching Tiger with 0 attack power, and he pitches a card and pays 2 resources to attack me with Ki Unleashed from his Banish Zone, with 7 attack power. I decide not to block and I take 7 damage. Stanislav puts a card in his arsenal and ends his turn, so it's off to Stanislav. He plays Preserved Tradition, which allows him to put an action card from his graveyard on the bottom of his deck. And also at instant speed he plays Sacred Art, Immortal Lunar Shrine, pitching a blue card to pay 3 resources. And since he played another blue card this turn, he gains all 3 effects, so he creates 2 Spectral Shield tokens, puts a +1 counter on each aura he controls, and it transcends, along with Preserved Tradition. He pitches an Inner Chi to activate Enigma's effect, creating a Spectral Shield token and putting a +1 counter on it. He then pitches his other Inner Chi to pay 2 resources for the Red Haze Shelter, which gains Ward 4 since he pitched a blue card this turn. He attacks Zen with Spectral Shield with 2 attack power, but looks like Stanislav added a life on his life counter, so one opponent doesn't lose a life and one gains it. Perfectly balanced, as all things should be. Stanislav decides not to block and takes 2 damage. And next he pays 1 resource to attack Zen again with Haze Shelter with 4 attack power. Stanislav blocks 3 damage with a card from his hand and takes 1 damage. And that's it for Stanislav's turn, and it's off to me. And at the start of my turn, since I have 1 life, I turn my Heirloom of Snake Hide face up. Next I pitch an Inner Chi to look at the top card of Zen's deck, but it's not a blue card so it's not banished. And I do it again to look at the top card of Enigma's deck, which is blue so it is banished. And now I can play blue cards from my opponent's Banish Zone without paying the cost. I play First Tenant of Chi, Moon, from Zen's Banish Zone, which gives my next blue attack the ability to draw a card when I attack. So I attack Zen with my blue Bonds of Memory with 1 attack power and I draw a card. But Stanislav plays the instant A Drop in the Ocean, which gives my attack -1 attack power. And he follows it up with Homage to Ancestors, giving him 1 life, and they both transcend. In the reaction step, I play Slither from my arsenal, giving my attack Go Again. I pitch a blue card and pay 2 resources to attack Zen with my Beckoning Mistblade. Stanislav decides not to block and he takes 1 damage. So now my next blue attack this turn gains +1 and Go Again. And I attack Zen again with a blue card from his Banish Zone, Ki Unleashed, with 2 attack power. Stanislav again doesn't block so he takes 2 damage. Then I break the combat chain and attack Enigma with my red Bonds of Memory with 3 attack power. And at instant speed he plays Moon Chakra, which prevents 1 damage, but since he transcended this turn it prevents 3 damage instead. So he takes no damage. I end my turn and pass it over to Stanislav. Stanislav attacks Enigma with Crouching Tiger with 0 attack power. And of course Stanislav doesn't block. Next he attacks him with the blue Pouncing Key with 1 attack power. But since Crouching Tiger was the last attack this combat chain, it gains +1 attack power. And Stanislav blocks 3 damage with a card from his hand. Stanislav breaks the combat chain and pitches a blue card to pay 3 resources for Sacred Art, J Tiger Domain. And since he played a blue card this turn, he gains on 3 effects. He creates 2 Crouching Tigers in his hand, his Crouching Tigers gain +1 attack power, and it transcends. And he pitches the inner chi to activate Zen's effect. And he banishes Pouncing Key. He attacks Enigma with a Crouching Tiger with 1 attack power. Stanislav prevents that 1 damage by destroying a Spectrum Shield token. He attacks Enigma again with another Crouching Tiger with 1 attack power. Stanislav blocks it with his head equipment Traverse the Universe, which lets him search an inner chi from his deck when it defends. So Stanislav attacks Enigma again with a Crouching Tiger with 1 attack power. And Stanislav prevents that 1 damage with his legs equipment, Skywalker Keikoi. Finally, Stanislav attacks Enigma with Pouncing Key from his Banish Zone, which gains +1 attack power, so it hits with 4 attack power. Stanislav uses Enigma's ability, pitching an inner chi, to create a Spectrum Shield token and put a +1 counter on it. And since he pitched a blue card, Haze Shelter has Ward 4, so it prevents that 4 damage, which ends Stanislav's turn and it's off to Stanislav. He starts by pitching an inner chi to activate Enigma's ability, creating another Spectrum Shield token with a +1 counter on it. He attacks Zen with a Spectrum Shield with 2 attack power, and Stanislav blocks it with a card from his hand. Next he pitches an inner chi to pay 1 resource and attack me with another Spectrum Shield token, with 2 attack power, which I block with Heirloom of Snakehide. He pays another resource to attack me again with a Spectrum Shield token with 2 attack power, which I block with a card from my hand. Finally, he pays another resource to attack Zen with another Spectrum Shield with 2 attack power. Stanislav decides not to block and takes 2 damage. He ends his turn and it's off to me. I attack Enigma with the Red Desires of Flesh with 3 attack power. Stanislav decides not to block, and in the reaction step, I pitch a red card and pay 1 resource to play the Red Hiss, giving my attack another +3 attack power, so it hits for 6. And Stanislav blocks with a defense reaction, Unravel Aggression, which blocks for 5. And the Spectrum Shield prevents the remaining 1 damage. I end my turn and pass it off to Stanislav. He pitches an inner chi to activate Zen's ability, banishing another Pouncing Key. He pitches a blue card and pays 2 resources to attack me with the Tiger Taming Kakara, with 2 attack power. I block with a card from my hand, and he attacks me again with a Crouching Tiger from his hand with 1 attack power, which I block with Heirloom of Snakehide. Next he attacks Enigma with Pouncing Key with 4 attack power. Stanislav blocks 3 damage with a card from his hand, and the remaining 1 damage is prevented by a Spectrum Shield token. Finally, he attacks Enigma with the blue aspect of Tiger Mind with 1 attack power, and the damage is prevented by 1 Spectrum Shield token. And Stanislav ends his turn and passes it over to Stanislav. He attacks me with a Spectrum Shield with 2 attack power, which I block with a card from my hand. He places a card in his arsenal and he ends his turn, passing it over to me. I pitch a blue card and pay 2 resources to attack Enigma with Beckoning Mistblade. Stanislav doesn't block and the damage is prevented by the Spectrum Shield token. And I attack Zen with the Red Mind's Desire with 3 attack power. And Stanislav blocks 3 damage with a card from his hand. I end my turn and pass it over to Stanislav. He pitches an inner chi and pays 1 resource to attack me with the blue Harmony of the Hunt with 1 attack power. And since he pitched a blue card, he creates a Crouching Tiger in his hand. I block it with a card from my hand and Stanislav plays Preserve Tradition, which puts an action card from his graveyard on the bottom of his deck and it transcends. Next he pitches an inner chi to activate Zen's effect, and he banishes the card he just added to the bottom of his deck, Mauling Key. He attacks me with Crouching Tiger with 0 attack power, I don't block, and he attacks Enigma with Mauling Key with 5 attack power, and he deals 1 damage to both me and Stanislav, which puts me at 0 life, so I am eliminated from the game. Stanislav takes 1 damage, he pitches a blue card and pays 1 resource to play the Yellow Waning Vengeance. It has Ward 2, so it prevents 2 damage. Stanislav takes 3 damage, and since he pitched a blue card, when Waning Vengeance leaves the field, it creates a Spectrum Shield token. Stanislav ends his turn and it's off to Stanislav. At the start of his turn, since he is at 1 life, he reveals his cloaked chest equipment, Heirloom of Rabbit Hide. He pitches an inner chi to activate Enigma's effect, creating a Spectrum Shield token with +1 counter. He attacks Zen with it with 2 attack power. Stanislav blocks it with a card from his hand. He pitches a card and pays 1 resource to attack Zen with his other Spectrum Shield with 1 attack power. Stanislav doesn't block, And at instant speed, Stanislav pays 1 resource and turns his arm equipment Uphold Tradition face up, which gives a +1 counter to his Spectrum shield, making it attack with 2 attack power. Stanislav takes 2 damage, bringing him down to 0, and he is eliminated from the game. And there you have it, folks. Enigma is the ultimate victor in this all-out brawl with the heroes from part the Mistveil. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and until next time, bye!